Hello, I'm painting again, and this is for my patrons who are backing me at the Plant Whisperer tier, I believe. I can't remember the tiers of my own Patreon, but the point is, these are the people who help support me. You are the people who help support me and make sure that I can do more sequential artwork and things that add up to bigger projects. I can practice making short comics too. It's just all stuff that I sometimes don't get enough time to do, but are really important to me. So today, as you've been following along with the monthly updates on this children's book idea that I've been working on, you can see that we're painting one of the pages. So the trouble with these pages and showing you updates is that since I finished the thumbnails pretty much, I've gotten them to a place where I feel like I'm ready to move on. Then it's harder to show you what I'm working on because the pencils, as you can see from here, are all extremely light, so it's very hard to see anything. So I don't think it would be as satisfying for you guys to see my pencils. Maybe I'll share them next month, and that would be a fun thing to have while I'm getting into the busy season for Hazel. My hands are actually pretty sore today because I got too excited about working on Hazel and just couldn't stop, and I didn't give myself enough time to rest. I just kept trying to get things done because it's getting busy, so I have to remember to take a break. But anyway, this was very fun to paint and did not hurt my hands. It's the computer work that's really bugging me, which I guess it's a good sign that this didn't hurt my hands so I can get back to some more painting work, but I've just been trying to actually take a break a little bit more. I'm still always on the computer, but you know, that's just the way life is these days. So anyway, so this one you saw the thumbnails for, and in this version of the story, then our main character, Linda, she takes a potion from her grandmother to make her big and or small, depending on the part of the story, which makes the storytelling go a lot faster. We don't have to waste as many pages on like her going to bed and wishing on a star or something like that and then waking up and finding out that she's big. We can get right into the action of the story, and it makes the grandmother character, it lets her be a part of the story and makes a nice, I don't know, supportive role, makes her a nice supportive role for Linda. She's obviously sympathetic to Linda because she goes ahead and allows her to do this without asking Linda to question those ideas and without just telling her no, and having the reaction that some parents and parental figures would have, which is don't ask any questions, just don't do it. She facilitates this moment of learning and growth in Linda's life. So she, in this scene, is giving her the potion to make her, yeah, large. I think this is the potion that makes her large. And so she can go as an adult out to the club with her sisters, and which is like, I think, a difficult scene to, or like concept to portray, because you don't want it to be like kids engaging in activities that are completely inappropriate for children, but you also want to show like why a kid would not want to be in those situations to a child. So you kind of have to pick and choose what you show about the club situation to what's appropriate for a child to actually be reading at this age. So yeah, I don't know. I think on the one hand, it's probably something that people would just not think is appropriate for children at all. But then on the other hand, kids are watching like Marvel movies and all kinds of TV shows that are not geared for kids and are completely inappropriate for them in various ways. So I think if that's something that a parent has decided is okay for their child, this should absolutely be, because it actually is geared towards children. So it's taking the time to try to explain to them that, yeah, you might want to take some time to grow up at a normal pace. Yeah, that being said, it doesn't go into a whole lot of detail as to why a child would, not want to experience that part of life just yet. But I think at the same time, it makes a fun adventure that gets the idea across without dwelling too much on the actual like downsides to being an adult, which the previous versions did. This one is something where it's like you get the mood of it, and I think the child feels, I don't know, a little bit, oh, I don't know. Hopefully the child ends up having a fun time reading the book is, all I'm gonna hope for at this point, but that's what I'm going for here. I think the adventure of being big, being an adult, and then being literally small, being like a tiny person running around, is what will be the most fun part of this book. And if they can get a sense that after her experience of being grown, she's really tired and frustrated and unhappy, and after her experience of being small, she is very calm and like ready to go back to her normal life, then that will be great. That's kind of the mood that I'm trying to build with these scenes. So, yeah, I think I'm looking forward to it now that I've gotten started. It's been pretty fun. One of my issues that I've run into is that my normal paper size that I'm using in this painting is too small for a standard picture book. I have some slightly bigger paper, and I'm realizing that that might become difficult to scan. I might have to scan it in multiple pieces and put it together. So either way, this is going to be a struggle because there are some spreads. There are a lot of spreads in the thumbnails that will be hard to achieve on the full size of paper and be able to like scan it and everything, so that it's at least as big as the actual book. Artwork does not look very good when you blow it up when it was initially smaller. Even if you scan it at a very high resolution, you will notice mistakes and just spots details a lot more in a not so good way, whereas when you scale things down, things kind of get smoothed out a little bit, and it really helps things out a lot of the time. I usually work bigger than the scale that things are going to be printed in, although sometimes for stickers and wooden pins I accidentally work like the same size because I didn't really notice or do the math on what size something was going to be. This page that I'm painting right now is basically full scale, or maybe even a little bit smaller than what a children's book might print as. I don't know, maybe I'm overestimating it, but I feel like this is pretty big. But the thing is, or that children's books are pretty big, but the thing is, yeah, that I think for something like this, I can just increase the white space around it. I think I'm going to use a lot of white backgrounds for this children's book because it's already a convention in children's books to have a little bit more sparse backgrounds so you can focus on the action. And it goes very well with the way that I already do my work, which is usually like no backgrounds, although, you know, I've been trying to expand and increase my skill level with doing backgrounds as well. But yeah, so this one is a little bit easier to fit onto the page, I think. Now that I'm thinking about it, I might need to give it a little bit more of a bleed, so that in printing, any kind of, if the cutting does not match up perfectly with where the edges of the artwork are, there will not be any white edges if you include the artwork bleeding out over the margins of the paper. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. But yeah, so with this one, I had to make some color choices as the first page in the book, and you know, I think with another project, I would go more in depth of doing some color studies ahead of time and making sure that I have a good sense of what I want all the pages to look like overall. But this is kind of a learning experience for me where I just want to have the experience of finishing the book, so that I can go through the whole process and have some familiarity with it. So I don't really want to dwell too long on color comps, color comparisons, color compositions. I just want to kind of get right into it. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm kind of thinking about, okay, what are some colors that are going to work really well on this page, but also what are her colors that she's going to have throughout the book, and what's going to work really well, so that we can always identify her throughout the book. We can always find her in a scene. I still have some minor frustrations with this piece. There are still things that I would change ultimately, but I'm glad, you know, the finished product looks pretty good to me right now. But yeah, I mean, to me, there are problems with like the draping on her puffy sleeve and some minor anatomy problems with her arms, but there's always something you can improve on, and that's basically how I approach all my drawings these days, is just to try to do better and push myself every time. But I really just wanted to play with this one and not spend too much time like taking things apart and redrawing them, and just like use that energy that the first drawing has, where things just, they might not look perfect, but they flow and they have this light hand and this light energy. And I think her arms are one of those spaces where you can tell that it lost that energy, because I had to go back in and redraw them at least once, and I still wasn't happy with them. So yeah, I don't know. It's like sometimes you don't mind that anatomy is not perfect because it has something more to it. It has this energy and this flow, and I'm trying to get used to that all the time. So yeah, but yeah, so this basically wraps this up. I am going to keep working on these even as I work on Hazel, unless I change my mind and let you guys know, because as I mentioned, my hands have really been hurting this week, so I'm a little bit behind on some of the Hazel work, but I am doing the cover soon, and that's going to be really exciting for me because I'm trying to make the cover the prettiest it can be, because it's our last year of our Witches Lifestyle zine, and I really want to have as many, I don't know, have it look as cool as it possibly can. But everything's coming along really well. I'm really excited for everything. That being said, I would love to hear from anyone who has enjoyed Hazel, who would like to answer some questions, or just write a little something for us as like a testimonial that we could include on the Kickstarter page, or as a Kickstarter like update, where we can share what Hazel has meant to people in the past, so that people who are coming to Hazel fresh can get an idea of what it's all about and why it's so exciting for us. So I would really, really appreciate hearing from you guys about anything that you've really enjoyed about Hazel, what it has meant to you in your lives, or how you have interacted with our media and our words and our stories. Yeah, that would mean a lot to me. So please let me know if you would like to participate in that, and I would be happy to have you. In other news, we're working on getting some more, I say we, but it's always just me basically. I'm consulting with other artist friends all the time. We're always commiserating about our problems, but other than that, it's just me over here. I'm working on getting some more merch in, and by that I also just mean it's in the mail. So I'm excited to have the work that I already worked on. Perhaps I should have said it that way. I worked on getting us some more merch, and now it's coming in, and I'm so excited. One of the things definitely is not on its way to me yet. It's on its way to somebody else who is collecting the parcel in the United States, and then they will send it to me. The other one I think should be shipped out pretty soon, so I'm really looking forward to having some new products in the shop, and like, I don't know, I'm really excited. I don't know, I'm really excited. That's all I can say. I can't wait to share these with you guys, and to have them for myself, honestly. That's gonna be a big one. But anyway, so yeah, lots of updates coming up. Lots of craziness over here. I'm teaching a virtual class for like teenagers, preteens, this coming week, so I'm really nervous about that. And yeah, a lot going on over here, but I'm trying to get more work in the garden done, so I'm hoping to share another garden video with you guys at some point. Probably not one that's as long or that takes as long to do. Probably just a little introduction to or update on my plants. And that being said, all of our patients in the plant hospital are doing really, really, really well. They're all very happy now, and just almost unrecognizable from where they were, although you can see on the last video that well, the plant hospital video at the end, it had that update. They're recognizable from that point. I'm rambling at this point. I should let you guys go. I'm gonna see if I can get any more painting done today, but if not, I'm gonna do some sewing projects, hopefully, if I can just make up my mind on exactly what I want to make, which is apparently the hardest part. So I will talk to you guys soon, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for supporting me as always. It means so much to me, and especially during these difficult times where I have a lot less income than I was expecting. So thank you so much for helping me get by right now, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.